Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5. Now, here's your host, Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Yo, welcome into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am your good buddy, Johnny Radio. My good buddy's Gabe Kuhn. We're going to hang out with you for the next 2 hours. We got NFL news out the wazoo. I mean, whoa. Did Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan have a conversation about what they were going to do at the quarterback situation? I don't know, but guess what? The 49ers have moved up to the number 3. They've made a trade with the Miami Dolphins, who moved down. Then the Dolphins have also made another trade and moved back up to 6. Oh, my goodness. It is going to make your head spin. We will break down all the moves for you, what they might mean, what we think people are going to do. We're going to talk a little NFL draft with Gabe Kuhn and Alex Kuhn. Alex joins us at 2 o'clock. We'll also talk Iowa and Chisluka Garza and all that stuff. We got best bets coming out of the Sweet 16. We got a UFC fight, and the Tigers played their worst basketball game of the year. No, not the year, but they played their worst basketball game in the NIT. That's for dead gum sure. And they won. And they pulled it out.
Very ugly game. We've become used to that with the Tigers. But I will say this. In-game situation, I was very happy with it. Very good
Down
execution.
The stretch, they made the extra plays. They made the
very
plays
good
they had
execution.
to.
DeAndre Williams knocks
made
down
those free throws
a couple
that
of
you
free
didn't
throws.
believe.
The Boise State comes down. Derek Alston Jr. gets the ball with 3 seconds to go. They foul him, put him on the line. They get the rebound, get fouled again, make one of 2 free throws, and they have to take Boise State a long full-court shot to try to tie the game. So I thought that it was a disgusting game up until then, but I haven't seen them execute that well at the end of a game, making their free throws and doing the right things.
Well, you know, the weird part about the game is they started to actually pull apart, and then they basically went, 4 minutes without making a dead gum bucket? I mean, I was freaking out. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm like, dude, put the ball in the hole. Nobody could put it in the hole. They couldn't make any free throws, but they made the ones that mattered down the stretch. Tigers beat Boise State 59-56 Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time. It's going down for real. They were going to play in the NIT semifinal game. Memphis Tigers, Colorado State Rams. I don't know much about the Rams. Have you seen them play a lot of basketball this year?
Not really. I've seen a few games, just sort of flipping through the channels. And
numbers look pretty close.
They have a very, very good set of guards on their team. Their guards fill it up pretty well. So the Tigers guards are going to have to come with it.
Roddy and Stevens, the 2 guards, they fill it up for Colorado State. Tigers are definitely going to have to bring it right now. Early line on the bad boy. What do you think it is? Memphis Tigers minus 3.5. Total 138.5. Boy, the Tigers have been going under a lot lately, haven't they?
Sure have. I appreciate what my man, what's his name? Gosh, I'm losing. DJ Jeffrey said last night after the game, though, about the NIT. I think the Tigers have a good attitude about the thing. Right, I think a lot of people are very disappointed about not making the NCAA tournament, but DJ Jeffrey said this is a good launching pad going into next year, learning how to win in the postseason. I think the Tigers are doing it.
I think I like that comment. I think you're exactly right. I think this could be important for Penny going forward. Also, there's going to depend on a lot of stuff with NCAA, but we'll see what all that happens there and who comes back next year, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll break down more of that because I wanted to mention one other thing before we get into the leadoff. Again, fantasy baseball. This is the biggest weekend for drafts. I got a draft today, I got a draft tomorrow, and I got a draft Sunday. All 3 leagues, 3 consecutive days. How lucky am I? So we're going to talk a little bit of fantasy baseball at 1:30. I got some crazy Hardwood stories. Man, did you see Lattimore getting in the news today? Wow.
I did. Marshawn Lattimore in hot water.
Yep. Cornerback out of Ohio State. By the way, this would have been just finished up. Like he's about to be a free agent. Dude's been a baller shot caller, and he made a huge mistake. Could cost him a lot of money. We'll talk about that during Hardwood and a whole lot more. But first, I wanted to mention, Did you know that Lon Kruger has stepped down? He's retiring after 45 years of coaching. I have to admit, I think of him as UNLV. I think, of course, Oklahoma. But then I started looking at his career. He's one of the most underrated coaches, period. Like, holy cow. I was looking at this and thinking, man, he's been in charge of the Sooners for the past decade, led them to 7 NCAA tournaments, went to the Final Four in 2016. They finished 16-11 overall this season, 9-8 in the Big 12, got to the second round before they lost to Gonzaga. Prior to taking over Oklahoma, Kruger led UNLV to 4 NCAA appearances in 7 seasons, including a Sweet 16 run in 2007. He also was at Kansas State as an assistant before he became a head coach of the Texas Pan American Games, blah, blah, blah. Then he was at Kansas State, Florida, Illinois. Spent 3 seasons as head coach of the Atlanta Hawks and a year with the New York Knicks as an assistant. I didn't know all of that. In his career, he has 674 wins. 674 wins. And guess what? Went to 20 NCAA tournaments and made 2 Final Four appearances. And he's one of just 3 men to lead 5 different programs to the NCAA tournament. Of course, we know Tubby Smith and Rick Pitino are the other 2.
One of the more underrated college basketball coaches of all time. There's no question. 45-year career. A lot of winning done in those 45 years.
Yeah. Congratulations. Enjoy retirement, Lon Kruger. You definitely deserved it. Now, go ahead.
We had other movement on the college basketball coaching scene. Shaka Smart, moving on. Taking off from Texas, leaving. I know it was a tough sort of job for him, moving on from Texas, going to Marquette.
After you lose from Abilene Christian, you want to get out of Texas, and you want to go to Marquette, I think.
He didn't win a single tournament game at Texas.
That's amazing. That's just absolutely amazing. To think what he did at VCU before Texas, all the expectation there at Texas, did a lot of winning at Texas, man. Got a 3 seed this year and lost to Abilene Christian.
Texas football and Texas basketball, just because of the pressure of the boosters and everything else.
You get paid well.
But you get paid well, but it's tough. The pressure is ridiculous.
It really is. It's definitely a pressure cooker. Now, we're about to get to the leadoff. Before we get to the leadoff, I have to remind you something very important. That is Bill, 901-406-1101 at I Buy Houses. 901-406-1101. Call Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom. I just sold your house. You can thank me later. You'll love me for it. This is something simple. This is something easy. You give him a call. He comes over. You get your check in 5 days. If your house has been on the market for 3 months, why? If you're ready to move on out or move on up, go somewhere, just get your house sold. You don't have to do any repairs or any replacements. You don't have to deal with a bunch of people coming over. Dude, you just deal with one person. 901-406-1101. You call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. You can thank me later because I just sold your house. Gabe, I'm in the box.
Like Johnny mentioned, he's going to have fantasy baseball here at 1:30, 2 o'clock. My brother, Alex, will be on. We'll talk a lot of NFL stuff. If you want to join the show at any point, First Bank text line 70236. Our old one is 67129. 70236 is the new First Bank text line. Now, NBA trade deadline. It has come and it has gone, and we had 16 trades, 23 teams involved in those 16 trades, 46 roster players moved. This is the most ever in each category in the past 35 years on trade deadline day. Give me your winners and your losers of the NBA trade deadline.
The first one that comes to mind as a winner is Pat Riley. He had some lean years after LeBron James left. Remember that? And I want you to think about this. He goes out there and gets some pretty good free agent success. They get Jimmy Butler. Somehow he forced his way out. They got him on that Miami squad. You saw what that squad did last year. He was also able to add add Myers Leonard for Trevor Ariza back in the day. And then he's able not only to do that, but move on for the guy and all this stuff. I mean, Riles is able to make some moves. He got rid of, Richardson, got rid of Hassan Whiteside. He did a lot of really good moves. And I just look at the situation. You gave up only the best joint roller on the team to go out there and get somebody that still can actually maybe bring something to your squad in Victor Oladipo, I feel like Miami was very effective in what they did. And let's not forget, they kept Tyler Hero, they kept Duncan Robinson, a bunch of young guys who are pretty dead-gum good. So they're going to stay competitive for a long while until they go out there and get that bigger fish. I don't expect them to compete for the East, but I see what he's doing down in Miami. And again, it's going to be, somebody's going to have to learn how to roll joints because Kelly Olynyk's gone.
They got a squad now. You got Jimmy Buckets, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Vic Oladipo, Goran Dragic, Kendrick Nunn, Andre Iguodala, and Trevor Ariza.
I like it.
And you also added Nemanja Bjelica yesterday, who I think is a very, very good big, can shoot.
And you added Trevor Ariza for the Myers-Leonard swap.
Can shoot, and I think on the other side there's a loser of that whole thing with Victor Oladipo. The Rockets. My gosh.
Rockets
what they ended up
is
getting,
a dumpster fire.
What they ended up getting, I feel so bad for Steven Silas. He doesn't deserve this.
That's what we were talking about before the show. I feel that guy actually took that job in Houston thinking he was going to have a squad, and now he's got a John Wall torn Achilles and nothing else.
Really, honestly. So in all now, with the Victor Oladipo trade, the Rockets' return does not look so good off the James Harden trade. It does not look great. Now, they have 4 first-round picks. That's the best part of the whole thing. But you have to hit on first-round picks if you didn't know. They have 4 first-round picks. They only got 20 games worth of Victor Oladipo, which they just traded. Avery Bradley, who hasn't played. Kelly Olynyk, who is the only guy who's actually going to be able to play time for them. And then Dante Exum, who has not played for them. So that trade, I mean, you look at the Rockets, they have lost this year. They have lost their way badly.
Yeah, they have. Not only, I mean, the Rockets have lost. I thought a lot of things were fascinating for me is that a lot of the teams that we expected to do something, like another big winner is actually the LA Lakers, because you got an injured Anthony Davis, you got a banged up LeBron James, and did the West make themselves a whole lot better? Does that Rajon Rondo to the Clippers thing just do it for you?
I think it helps both teams. The Hawks need a guy like Lou Williams as a secondary scorer off the bench. And Rajon Rondo for the Clippers. Rajon Rondo, while I think during the regular season is not like
playoff
that
Rondo's
fantastic,
better.
I think in the playoffs he's a guy that you can lean on. And I like that for the Clippers at least, because the Clippers last year, we know what happened with them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
But I will say this. You say the Lakers is somewhat of a winner.
Because I also think that they're going to either go out there and get LaMarcus Aldridge, who didn't get traded, or Andre Drummond.
Did you notice this, though?
Don't you think they go get one of those guys?
I think they should. Do they get one? Maybe. We'll see.
I think more than likely. It's LeBron James. He gets what he wants.
The fact that they tried to make a Kyle Lowry trade and they wouldn't come off of Talen Horton-Tucker to get Kyle Lowry, I don't get that. I really don't. They may think highly of Talen Horton-Tucker. I really don't. But they would not trade him. It's like the Tyler Hero thing with the Heat. They don't want to involve him in any package, even if it's for a good player. I don't understand that.
Do you think Daryl Morey's a little bit bummed out, the fact that he also didn't get Kyle Lowry? Because I heard that the 76ers swung pretty hard for him.
I'll tell you this, though. I like the addition of George Hill.
Man, I don't know, dude. He's a solid pickup. He's a two-way guy. He's a solid pickup.
And he's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a shooter.
Add shooting to that team who desperately needs it.
And you got Ben Simmons that can't shoot. That's you know what? Okay, you know what? I kind of like that George Hill pick a little bit better. But I also feel like Daryl Morey also is a little upset that he struck out on Kyle Lowry.
And the Nuggets, I thought, did a decent job. I'm okay. I like Aaron Gordon. I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. But that definitely improves their starting lineup there in the West. I think they could really potentially hurt some people in the playoffs with that starting lineup, adding Aaron Gordon to it.
You know what, man? I think the biggest loser in this whole thing, though, honestly, might be Steven Silas. He was hired to coach a team with James Harden.
Poor guy.
And he's got a post-Achilles tear, John Wall. He's got a dude. They didn't even hold on to like some of their decent and promising prospects from the past, like LeVert and everything. Like they got nothing. I think he's one of the biggest losers. I think the Rockets are hurting. And again, you don't. And I'm going to ask you this real quick. Does Zach LaVine do anything for you to Denver? Because I can see, I understand. I don't actually.
Wait, what? Zach LaVine did what?
I'm sorry, Chicago. Adding Vucevic. Sorry, my brain's not working. Yeah. I'm saying, does adding Vucevic, because we talked about it yesterday in Chicago.
We talked about this. I don't think it really adds, I don't think it makes them a serious contender out of the East, but I will say that, I think it helps them in regards to getting their fans back on board. Their fans have not seen them actually go buy at the trade deadline for years. So for them to get a player that actually actively makes their team better, I think that's a good thing.
Do you think Zach LaVine is going to be better with Vucevic? Do you think that pick and pop thing is going to actually work for him? And do you think that
I think it helps.
Do you think this move was made basically because you haven't been to the playoffs in the last 5 years?
Yes. You have to get your fans excited again. Your fans have not seen you do anything but sell at the
but
trade deadline
doesn't really
for
move
years
the
and years and
needle for
years,
you, right?
though.
Like, does it?
It makes, in my opinion, the Bulls a playoff team. But past that, no, it really doesn't move the needle for me.
All right, now, I said the Nuggets because my brain wasn't working, and I was thinking about Aaron Gordon to Denver. Do you like Aaron Gordon to Denver? Does that make sense?
I like it. I think it makes that team actively better in their starting five. But I
but
think
is he their fourth option?
Do you think people have sort of overrated Aaron Gordon as what he is right now?
Yes, I definitely do. He's not a great defensive player, even though he's
he's solid defensive player.
He's okay.
But
he's athletic. He can shoot a three, but he's still going to be the fourth option on this team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, you got Jamal, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got their superstar, Mr. Joker. Jokic ain't no joke. He's having an MVP candidate year. So I'm just wondering what Aaron Gordon's going to actually do for Denver. Do you think it puts them up there to compete?
I think they can compete, but we'll have to see. I want to see what Aaron Gordon looks like in that starting lineup before I make a full decision on that. But I do see the Nuggets seeing that the Lakers are struggling with injuries and AD and LeBron right now, and they're trying to make a move to possibly put themselves in a conversation for a title.
By the way, coming up, I just want to let everybody know on 96.1, we have Ole Miss Baseball at 1:30. That's Ole Miss Baseball on 96.1 FM, and don't forget, we're going to stay on 98.5 and AM 560.
Now, moving on. It's Friday, so we can't help but talk about some tournament bets. The Sweet 16 is this weekend. Games starting tomorrow and going into Sunday. Give me your best bets for the slate of games in the Sweet 16 over the weekend.
All right, I got to bring up one right now that I think is a trap. Everybody and their grandmother, every show that I've seen has been talking about, Jim Boeheim and that Syracuse, they're the double-digit team that's going to get the win. They're getting 6 points against Houston. Does Houston shoot a lot of threes? Does Houston, I look at the way Houston plays. I don't know, man. I'm kind of saying when I see everybody and their grandmother go one way, I usually want to stay off of it. And I Googled this. 4 out of 6 places I went to had the best bet Syracuse +6 over Houston. So you know what that tells me right now?
Fade
that junt. I'm taking Houston, yo. But I will tell you this. If you're looking for an underdog, please don't look at who Gonzaga's playing. Or Baylor. In fact, my favorite bet, Mr. Gabe Kuhn, and you kind of mentioned this, so I'm going to give you some credit. What do you think about Baylor as being the easiest favorite? They're -7. Do you like the Baylor Bears? I absolutely love Baylor.
Only 7.5 points. I was honestly surprised.
And by the way,
that.
sorry, they're playing Villanova.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised with the 7.5 points. I think that's a very small line for them, considering Villanova's without still one of their best players in Colin Gillespie. And if you look at Baylor, Baylor's a very, very guard-centric team, and they will absolutely eat you alive.
I think they eat up Jay Wright.
They will eat you alive. Now, Jay Wright, again, good coach. So you got to give him some credit. Possibly may pull something out of the hat and figure it out. But also, think about who Villanova's played to this point. Winthrop and North Texas. And now they run into Baylor. So I don't think they've been tested. I don't know if they're ready for this game. I love Baylor -7.5.
I love Baylor. That's actually my favorite one. Now, the scariest game, do you think, is it Oregon State and Loyola Chicago?
I don't know which way that'll go, man.
That Beavers team has played so good, but Loyola Chicago has been a bunch of madmen. And that
Loyola Chicago, if you've watched them, they wear on you.
The
whole game. They just play so close to the vest. They play so well. They play within themselves. And by the end of the game, they start pulling away, it seems like.
Notice that total's at 125. I think it goes under. When you see one that low, it usually goes under. I'm telling you, to remember that one. Now.
And by the way, Loyola Chicago, very good defensive team.
By the way, you know what? Looks like for some reason everybody's got their money on Syracuse. I'm looking at this on Vegas Insider. Guess what? 80% of the money is on Syracuse, but the line has moved to Houston -6.5. Only half a point.
So you're saying
So,
you
like-
want to fade the public.
Like, yeah, they're fading the public even. They were giving you 6. Now they're like, hey, more people will bet on it if we give them 6.5. They're trying to get that jump up to about 90%, man. I'm telling you, Houston might be a super strong bet. Now, we got to talk about Oral and Arkansas. Minus 11 is a lot. But, dude, can a 15 seed continue to do this? Eric Musselman, one of the most underrated coaches in basketball right now, has that Arkansas Razorback team running and gunning, playing defense, hitting threes, doing everything that you need. They are fun to watch. They can flat out score, and they can play some defense. I think Oral's in trouble. But 11 freaks
points?
me out.
Honestly, if I'm looking at these, I don't know if I'll play that game, but behind the Baylor game, the minus 7.5 Baylor over Villanova, I think this might be my second favorite play on the board.
Which
Minus
one?
11.
Minus the 11?
Yes. Because Oral Roberts has just done it somehow. Florida played like garbage against them. Ohio State played like garbage. Arkansas's been playing very, very well. They're a streaking team going into this game. I don't know how Oral Roberts can compete with them right now.
And the interesting thing is also in the totals, last but not least, the Nova Baylor game and the Syracuse Houston game are both 141.
And by the way, history will tell you, a 15 seed getting to the Elite Eight is pretty tough to do.
rare. Yeah, if that's ever happened. And the other thing is though, the Arkansas is all the way up to 158.5. That jump might go over, and the low one at 125 is Loyola Chicago and the Beaver.
So
and
we
I
both
think they
agree.
go under.
We both agree. Minus 7.5 Baylor, probably the best play on the board.
I
Over
agree. That's
Villanova.
100%. That's the safest bet I feel. And I think the one that you have to go because of the way everybody in the public's betting is you got to take Houston minus 6.5.
All right, now let's move on. A little college football news. Nick Saban today sounded off in an interview, and he was talking about the changes in the game of football at the college level, and he said, I grew up with the idea that you play good defense, run the ball, control field position on special teams, and you're going to win. You're not going to win anything now doing that. And he went on to say that it used to be whoever rushes the ball for the most yards is going to win the game. Does he have a point with this, or does ball control and defense still win ball games?
Okay. Like when you watch Sark draw up plays for Devontae Smith to get open in motion and just run a quick little out 3 yards, and Mac Jones just takes the ball up, boom, throws it over to him. Yes, coaching and scheming plays for your best athlete to get open is very in vogue. But Nick Saban also saying this, his team shuts everybody down on defense. They've had the most defensive players drafted in the first round since he's been at Alabama. They've had 22 first-round draft picks in just the last 7 years. I mean, that's more than everybody else. Like the number 2 and 3 teams combined, that's more than. I mean, Nick Saban is a baller. He has great athletes. He has defensive players. He has, offensive players. He has players on both sides. They have special team guys. I mean, look, didn't Waddle get hurt on special teams? I mean, can you imagine Jalen Waddle? He plays special teams for Alabama. So you're winning in the special teams game. You're winning the defensive game. And by the way, look at your running backs. You've had Najee Harris. Look at Derrick Henry also. You remember Ingram? How many guys do I need to name off? Everybody, let's see, who was one of their failure running backs, but yes, he's still in the NFL.
And what is he? Trent Richardson.
Thank you.
How many?
He's not in the,
and also,
Trent
what was
Richardson.
it? What was it? 5 years
The other
ago
one.
that he was winning national
He was a
championships, doing exactly what he said that doesn't work nowadays. We're not that far removed from when Alabama had a game manager at quarterback and they handed the ball off.
They basically always had game managers until Tua, and then for some reason everybody think Mac Jones is now Tom Brady. But let's just think Minkah Fitzpatrick. How great is he? What about Rashaan Evans, Daron Payne? Think about these guys on defense that they have, and think about this offensive line also that they're great players play behind. Look, Nick Saban, when you're winning everything, you're winning. And yes, I still think running the football is a very effective way to win football games. Are there West Coast teams? Are there teams that just spread it out and throw the ball all over the yard because that's the only way they can compete because they don't have the big guys that you do? Absolutely. But it's also because it's about the Jimmies and Joes, not necessarily the X's and the O's.
You can definitely win the game with ball control and defense. You absolutely can win ball games that way. I think if Alabama decided to do that and Steve Sarkisian just sort of did the play action and ran the ball all the time, I think that Alabama team would have still won the national championship last year. Now, do you have the athletes to spread it out and kill people offensively? Yes. But I still think games can absolutely be won in the trenches and on defense, because you look at most
Alabama
of the time.
defensively beat Clemson.
Most of the time. How often do you see the team that has the most rushing yards win the game? Probably 75, 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So the trenches are where the game is won.
Unless Arnold's playing.
I still think that old school football can work, but at the same time, the way we're moving with offense, I understand why you want to spread it out and score a lot of points.
It's just kind of, you know what, when Nick Saban says it just sounds hollow. You know what I mean? But we got to take a break. We're coming back. We're talking fantasy baseball. Get ready. Plus, we have a lot of NFL news. Alex is going to join us in Hardwood because it feels so good. So when life hands you lemons, make a lemon drop. Just make sure it's with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Start your day the right way with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 Mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
The tournament is down to just 16 teams, so if you've been waiting from the sidelines, now is your chance to get in on the action. FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking you up with exclusive 30-1 odds on all 16 teams left in the bracket, even the top seeds. That's right, new users get 30-1 odds on any team to win their next game this round. You can win $150 on a $5 bet. All you have to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and make your first deposit to unlock exclusive 30-1 odds. You want to ride Gonzaga? You want to ride the number one seeds? Or you want to stay with some of the Cinderellas? The app is easy to use, so when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. Just sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. Must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789. At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Memphis, it's official. Crab Kings is where it's at. The best seafood with 7 flavors to choose from. Try the shrimp and chicken pasta. Now available is the salmon and fried lobster pasta, snow crabs, king crab, dungeons, and more. Don't forget about the calamari, shrimp, and lobster. The portion, the price, the taste. Only at Crab King. Visit us at CrabKingTN.com. Crab King Seafood and Pasta. East Memphis location now open till midnight for carry-out. Memphis favorites.
Are you looking for a dependable car at a fair price and guaranteed financing approval? Then you need to make your way to Collierville Auto Center, where one price shopping is the name of the game. Family owned and operated, Collierville Auto Center has been in the business for over 20 years and is proud to serve the people of this area. Collierville Auto Center is stocked with over 50 units, including cars, trucks, SUVs, and Highlines. Looking for a particular type of vehicle? Collierville Auto Center offers a locator service with 72-hour turnaround service. With over 30 years in the automotive industry, Scott Martin would be happy to show you how their affordable pricing and guaranteed financing can work for you. Come see Scott and his professional staff of Terry, Branson, Q for your car needs. Conveniently located at 651 West Poplar Avenue, Collierville Auto Center is situated where Highway 72 meets Poplar and Collierville. Please look them up on the web at ColliervilleAutoCenter.com. Call at 901-853-0240 or simply come and see them for an outstanding car buying experience. At Collierville Auto Center, they're here for you.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions. 2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
They used to tell me, boy, you ain't going nowhere. With your cheap guitar and your big long hair. You gotta realize all your responsibilities. You gotta get out to work and face reality. You gotta get up in the
Yo, yo, yo! Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Gabe Coons in the house. We're going to talk a little fantasy baseball right now. Got a lot of baseball news that's going on. It is the biggest fantasy draft weekend of the year. I know I got 3 of them going down, one today, one tomorrow. One Sunday, I'm fired up. But I will tell you something. Some people aren't very fired up, and I think White Sox fans are probably freaking out. Eloy Jimenez. If you've been paying attention to the White Sox social media, he suffered a ruptured left pectoral tendon. The injury is going to require surgery. He's expected to miss 5 to 6 months. Oh, my goodness. GM Rick Hahn did say that Jimenez could return maybe late in the season, but that's just a big shot for a team that was expected to contend. They made the postseason last year. They wanted to be a part of the AL Central, and losing Jimenez is going to hurt, but they still have some good bats out there. I'm not going to say that they're completely in the tank, but dude hit 45 home runs, had an 848 OPS in 177 games over the past 2 seasons. He just turned 24 years old, and it looked like he was ready to take that ascension into that next level category of a player. I just have to say that hurts. And the funny thing is, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because, man, Tony La Russa, he's got to be feeling like damn, because that's devastating news. That really is. And we'll see what happens. But they still have, catchers in Yasmani Grandal. They still have also like LaCroix. They still got good players. It's interesting because the free agent market for outfielder, who's still out there? I wonder if they go get him. They have Josh Reddick, Yasiel Puig, Yoenis Cespedes. We'll see if one of these guys gets picked up to kind of fill the Eloy Jimenez hole that is now vacated. Now I got to bring this up because Gabe Kuhn, aren't you a Cardinals fan?
Sure am.
Dude, have you heard about what Matt Carpenter's doing? It is so bad that I don't even know what to say. If you haven't heard this, Matt Carpenter, somebody that, a lot of people really believed in the Cardinals organization, he's making $18.5 million this year. He's going to be on the bench. You know how I know that? You know who's playing third base where he used to play? Nolan Arenado. Everybody knows Paul Goldschmidt's over at first. Second base, kind of his original position. Tommy Edman, he's getting that bad boy. He's not a shortstop. Let's not even pretend. And Carpenter is 1 for 40 in spring training, 13 strikeouts, and while he's in the field, he's made 2 errors. So is Matt Carpenter just collecting a check before he gets shipped out of St. Louis?
Sounds like it.
Dude, that is unbelievably bad news in my personal opinion. Now, I also have to bring up something that's going to kind of mess people up. I think it's going to mess you up with opening day right around the season. We got bad news. Right-hander Zach Gallen he's the ace of the Diamondbacks, which is kind of sad that he's their ace, but he is their ace, and he was going to be drafted. Don't draft him. He's been diagnosed with a hairline stress fracture in his right forearm. He's going to continue to try to play catch. He won't be ready for opening day, but where he was going on your draft board, drop him down, and don't forget to drop Kyle Freeland. Why are we dropping the Rockies lefty? And that's another dude who's probably the best pitcher on their team, and that's pretty sad as well. The Rockies, Kyle Freeland, he's got left shoulder strain. This dude's always kind of battled some injuries. I would not be happy about him at all, and I wouldn't want him. And if you don't know this, Kirby Yates. Do you remember Kirby Yates, one of the best closers all time? He signed that one-year deal with Toronto in the offseason. Everybody thinks they now got a star reliever. Well, guess what? He may never pitch in a Blue Jays uniform because he's going under the knife with Tommy John surgery. He'll be a free agent in the end of the year. He'll probably go somewhere else. They were really going for it, the Blue Jays, this year, and I think they're in big trouble. And you know what else is bad for them? You know who else is hurt for the Blue Jays? Who might miss the opening day? George Springer, who was traded from the Houston Astros. Not traded, but he leaves Houston, goes over to Toronto. He's a big part of that. He's got a grade 2 oblique strain. Now, Gabe, you played football at Memphis. You know a bunch of guys. What's a grade 2 oblique strain?
It means that, so when you talk about strains, grade 1 means you slightly tore some of the fibers in your muscle. 2 means a little bit more, probably about 50% of your muscle is trying to heal itself.
Ooh.
Grade 3 means that it's torn. Yes.
Okay, so George Springer is going to be out for a while because I was trying to understand this grade 2 thing.
So grade 2, you can do a lot of things to promote the healing in it. So I think, some weeks would be in order. A few weeks, 5 to 6 maybe at the most, and he'll be back in there.
Unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, one other pitcher that I need to mention that's going under the knife, it is Ronnie Elias. And, of course, he is with the Mariners. It's his third stint. He missed the entire 2020 season with a flexor strain, and now he comes out in spring training, tears up his arm, and he's going under the knife for Tommy John surgery. Poor guy, can't catch a break. Now, some good news and some weird news, and being baseball rich is being baseball rich. Did you see what Salvador Perez got? He's going to be with the Padres for a long time. And they're talking about the Padres, the Kansas City Royals. He's going to be with the Royals. He's the dude that went to the World Series with them, kind of on his back. He's a great catcher. He did have that injury a couple years ago and missed the entire season, had Tommy John surgery, but he's come back. Last year he was good, had a 270 average, 300 on base. He's 30 years old, and again, he was a part of that 2015 World Series run. Mr. Salvador Perez signed an $82 million deal at 30 years old to play catcher. $82 million deal for Salvador Perez to stay in Kansas City? I don't know about you, but I'm freaked out. And then I got kind of unfreaked out when I saw this. Did you see what the Mets offered Francisco Lindor? And he turned it down and said he'll talk to him at the end of the season because he wants to hit the free agent market and let it be just a free-for-all and let everybody bid on him. They offered him $300 million, and he turned it down. Could you say no to $300 million guaranteed dollars? I sure as hell can't.
You can't ask us, though.
Dude.
You can't ask us. I don't know if we're in the spot to make that decision for ourselves.
But that's $300 million, and I understand. You look at maybe like Bryce Harper, and you look at Giancarlo Stanton, and, of course, you look at now Fernando Tatis Jr., but $300 million is $300 million, and it's guaranteed. Guaranteed.
We see it with athletes all the time, though. They bet on themselves.
They do. He's 28 years old, by the way. I'm shocked. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. That's a very big contract to turn down. Now, the other thing that I got to mention in baseball is, did you hear about Joey Votto? Joey Votto is probably the most blunt person on planet Earth. You know that? You know how he's a no-nonsense kind of guy, talks about how he has anxiety, doesn't like being in the spotlight, doesn't like being famous, doesn't like people coming up on the street and talk to him, and he'll tell you that, doesn't like doing autographs. just doesn't like a lot of things, let's be honest with you, but he's always honest. Joey Votto will always tell you he's probably the most transparent person in baseball, to a fault sometimes. Because, like, he doesn't pretend with you. Like, a kid comes up to him and is like, hey, I love you, Joey. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't love myself right now, so beat it, kid. I'm just kidding. He's not that bad. But so Joey Votto is going to miss opening day. He was asked, so what's the matter? Is something ailing you? Are you injured? He's like, nah, man, I just tested positive for COVID, so I'm going to be out for a while. Like, he's just straight up, like, don't play no games, does he? I like Joey. Do you think he still can play? I don't know. We'll see. That was Fantasy Baseball. Hit us up at 70236 if you have any more questions. We're going to get in the NFL market. We're going to talk some Tigers. We got Alex. Plus, we have Hardwood because it feels so good. And if you didn't know anything about baseball, now you do. Remember, when life hands you lemons, do one thing. Make a lemon drop. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
The voice of your Memphis Tigers, Dave Woloshin. The man with all the stats, Brett Norsworthy. Together, an unbeatable combo of entertaining and insightful sports talk. Wolo and Stats, 3 hours a day, every weekday from 3 to 6 on Sports 56. Guns & Ammo has a full line of pro shot products, a tremendous selection of accessories from belts, holsters, gun cases, specialty boxes, bench-made knives, and assorted optics. At Guns & Ammo, enjoy selecting all your favorite firearms, from hunting supplies to target shooting to self-defense. Experience the excellence at Guns & Ammo with a friendly, knowledgeable staff and hundreds of guns to choose from. Guns & Ammo, 3615 Summer Avenue, Memphis. Local and supporting the NRA and Friends of the NRA. Guns & Ammo, family owned since 1985.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attention foodies, there's a great new place to eat in a great restored building. South Hall Cafe is now open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch in the former Tobacco Corner. Chef Jesus Ramon is creating classics from scratch with a twist. Enjoy all your favorites, including the best cheese grits in the South, a full bar, an in-house pastry chef, catering, online ordering for curbside or delivery, and a covered patio with live music on the weekends. We're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends. South Hall Cafe, corner of Poplar and Mendenhall.
Indeed knows unexpected demand can stretch your business thin.
Leon speaking.
Like at Leon's Plumbing.
Sorry, quick as we can get there is next Friday.
To stay out of hot water, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Got new car fever for a new ride? We got it covered at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. How about a new car for less than $5 a day? 2021 Kia Forte, $135 a month lease. Get next level versatility in 2021 Kia Soul, $149 a month lease. And fall in love with driving again in 2021 Kia K5, $179 a month lease. All 36 months with $31.49 due at signing, and they all come with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get your Kia on at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte NE 319 491, MSRP 20,625, sold M77 5597, MSRP 20,660, K5 MG 005560, MSRP 25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 3/31/21, dealer stock only.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy Johnny Radio, man. And I'm telling you right now, we got NFL news out the frizzame. Mr. Gabe Kuhn is going to come in here and tell us a little bit more. But right now, I can tell you that Marshawn Lattimore was arrested for a loaded gun, possibly stolen intent stuff. We'll talk about that in Hardwood. But the big news of the day is the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins doing all kinds of moves all over the place. Looks like the Dolphins like Tua Tagovailoa. They're going to go on with him because they moved down from number 3 because they traded the number 3 pick to the San Francisco 49ers.
They sure did. I have full details for you. The Dolphins traded number 3 to San Fran. San Fran seemingly moving up for a quarterback in that position, but San Fran gives them the number 12 pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and first-round picks in 2022 and 2023. But then the Dolphins turn around, and the Dolphins take their number 12 pick and go to the Eagles, and they say, Eagles, you want this 12 pick? Eagles say yes. The Dolphins take the 6th round pick the 6th overall pick from the Eagles, and they swap. And the Dolphins give the Eagles the number 12 pick and their 2022 first round pick.
Simple things that we can.
My head's spinning. There's
my
a
head
lot
is
of
spinning.
moving parts.
But to make it simple for all the people out there, the simple things that I can say about this is Jimmy G. They're moving on from him in San Francisco.
I wonder, whoever they pick in that spot,
they won't.
I
Zach
wonder
Wilson.
if they keep Jimmy G starting for 1 year and let that guy develop.
Do the Patrick
Because
Mahomes
here's
thing.
the thought process. I think the two most pro-ready quarterbacks are who? Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, right?
Correct.
I think me and you agree on that.
100%.
After that, you have guys that probably need to sit behind somebody for a year. Justin Fields, Trey Lance. I don't know about Mac Jones. Mac Jones is an interesting one, but 3 overall, it doesn't seem like you'd have to trade that high to get Mac Jones.
And by the way, don't you think Kyle Shanahan...
To update you, just to make sure you understand, the 49ers have the 3rd overall pick now. The Dolphins have the number 6 overall pick right now, seemingly to get a receiver or a tight end, Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, any of those guys. And number 12, the Eagles sit at number 12.
And it's going to be pretty
You
wild.
think Eagles fans are happy with that?
I think they are because I think it moves them off of Kyle Pitts and maybe they go get something else like a defensive player or a wide receiver.
Now, I want to talk to Alex about this because I'm really wondering who the Niners are thinking at that number 3 pick.
It's 100%.
Seemingly a quarterback, right?
Let me tell you something. Kyle Shanahan is a guy who has identified somebody out there or 2 players that he is going out there and putting his coaching career, his 10-year career with the 49ers on because he's got the tight ends, he's got the running backs, he's got wide receivers, he's got hella defense.
And that
he
O-line's
doesn't
good.
believe in Jimmy G. And again, Jimmy G, the reason he don't believe in him, do remember he only threw 8 passes in the NFC Championship game a few years ago. He couldn't close the deal when they were playing the Chiefs. He couldn't make that completion when dude was wide open.
What do you think? Do you trust Kyle Shanahan to make the right decision as for a quarterback at that number 3 pick?
If it's Zach Wilson, yes.
But seemingly you would think that Zach Wilson's going too.
Did you see his pro day? You saw that
Oh,
throw?
he was nuts.
He looks like...
People are going to hate us by the end of the draft season, though, because people, I don't know if they like the talk up of Zach Wilson, but he's been fantastic. Man.
Dude,
he
Zach
was so
Wilson's
good last
the
year.
closest thing to Brett Favre and Patrick Mahomes that I've seen in a long time. He can throw. He can make every throw. He's having fun when he's out there. He seems. I like Zach Wilson a lot. I really, really do. Now, also wanted to mention this: the things that are obvious. I think is Jimmy G is going to not likely be in San Francisco long. The 49ers. I wondered. You mentioned this. Do you think Robert Saleh and Shanahan talked? I mean, are they going?
Curious.
Because I thought the Jets were going to get Zach Wilson.
So according to Adam Schefter just reporting this, the 49ers are trading up for a quarterback because they like all the options there. They're not looking at
Even Justin Fields?
They're not looking at one particular
Trey
guy,
Lance.
according to Adam Schefter. They are very confident that they can get a guy that they trust at that number 3 pick.
Interesting.
It's interesting to me, too, because I think when you look at
I just
how
don't
the
think
Niners
Justin Fields is NFL ready. He has to sit a year.
I think how the Niners run offense, you look at what they do with play action and what they do running the ball. It goes Zach Wilson is probably the top pick that they'd want. Then you get into Trey Lance territory, and you may hate this, but I think Mac Jones is a guy that could go in there with all those weapons and do a good job.
They could have got him at 12.
I agree.
I don't think I don't think they're going
12.
for Mac.
You think 12?
I think probably. I think he's going to go around 15. I don't think he's going to be as high as a lot of people think. I think somebody's going to move up late to get him. But also got to say, the other thing that makes this obvious, Dolphins believe in Tua Tagovailoa, looks like. Because if they move back to the 6, they're probably going to go get a Kyle Pitts, a Devontae Adams, a Jalen Waddle.
Devontae Smith.
Who did I say?
Adams.
Oh, my Lord. Sorry. Devontae Smith from Alabama, Waddle from Alabama, maybe Kyle Pitts out of Florida. You could maybe get Penei Sewell if he's there at 6. Move what's his name over back to right tackle. You said that you don't know if Sewell.
No, I like Sewell a lot, but he's not a finished product.
He's not a finished product, but he's a hell of an athlete.
He's a crazy athlete. He should be the first O tackle off the board, in my opinion, but he is not a finished product. I think he has all-pro upside, though.
Man, we're talking with Alex Kuhn on the other side about everything and their grandmother. If you want to say style and profiling, where do you go? Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. Or just head on down to frontierwesternstore.com on your computer. They got free shipping for any order $75 or more. They ship within 24 hours. You can shop that huge boot selection right online. They got boots. You can shop by brand, sale item. They have all their jeans. They have kids, their women's wear, and their ladies' boutique. It's all right there. FrontierWesternStore.com or down at 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. Coming up next, again, we're talking Alex Toon. We got NCAA tournament news. We got Hardenwood, and we got a lot of NFL. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
And if the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Is your home's main sewer line backed up? Do you have multiple plumbing fixtures in your home backing up? Better call the Rooter experts at Conway Services for our $99 main drain opening special with accessible cleanout. We'll come out and open the home's main drain for only $99. And if it should clog again over the next year, we'll come back and open it again for free. Springtime is when tree roots start growing, and many of them find their way right into your sewer line. We'll inspect your main sewer line using our state-of-the-art Rooter Vision camera system, all for only $99. That's right, Conway Services' $99 main drain opening special with accessible cleanout and a camera inspection. Trust the Rooter experts at Conway Services for all your drain and sewer needs. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. Your neighborhood Rooter experts.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The tournament is down to just 16 teams. So if you've been watching from the sidelines, now is your chance to get in on the action. FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking you up with exclusive 30-1 odds on all 16 teams left in the bracket. Even the top seeds. That's right. New users get 30-1 odds on any team to win their next game this round. You can win $150 on a $5 bet. All you have to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and make your first deposit to unlock exclusive 30-1 odds. The app is so easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. Just sign up with promo code BIGHEAD so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code BIGHEAD. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. Must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-97.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Hey everybody, summer road trips are coming, and if you're ready for a new Chevy, All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch is where you want to be. New Chevy Traverses with third row seating, Equinoxes, Blazers, thousands in cash back, financing as low as 0 for 72. And the almost famous All-Star Chevy demo sale is on. Demos by the dozen. Hey, if it's a Chevy car, truck, or SUV you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy with the title and get a check today. This is for real. Take them any 2015 to 2021 with less than 75,000 miles and the title, and yes, get your check the same day. And the Chevy certified pre-owned lot is full of Tahoes, Suburbans, Yukons, Silverados, but they want more. And remember, it's not Mount Moriah, not Covington Pike, not Collierville or South Haven. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. And everyone at All-Star Chevy has one job, just one job, to make sure you have more fun, get the best deal, and in record time. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy at Kraft Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
What is up? Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour on a beautiful Friday here in the Mid-South. I'm chilling with you, your buddy Johnny Radio. You know my buddy's Gabe Kuhn. We also got Gabe's brother Alex is going to join us. Oh my goodness, I'm fired up to talk about Alex. We get to talk about Iowa, NFL, all kinds of stuff, maybe some Tiger stuff, what's going down. We're going to do it all. But before we do all these wonderful things, I just have to remind you one quick thing. I'm going to make Alex hungry. If you're hungry right now and you're thinking of something delicious, the most authentic Mexican food is at 6290 Winchester Road at Taqueria Express. Taqueria Express has literally the best food I've had in a long time. I love the carnitas burritos. Their little bitty chicken tacos are only 99 cents, and they're so deadgum delicious. The best dip you'll ever have in your life. Their enchiladas are out of control. Check them out. You can do a drive-through. You can dine in. You can go DoorDash. You can do whatever. They got Uber Eats as well. They got all kinds of stuff at Taqueria Express, 6290 Winchester Road. If you want a place to go order, call them 901-800-2737. 901-800-2737 for Taqueria Express. Mr. Alex Kuhn, how's life treating you?
Not too bad, guys. How are you?
Is it treating you better than those deadgum Iowa Hawkeyes?
Yeah, probably.
What happened?
We're cooling.
Dude, I need to know what happened to the Big Ten in Iowa.
What's the deal with the Big Ten? What's the deal with Iowa getting smacked by some athletes?
Is it anything other than their posers?
Well, I don't know. Like, apparently not. Apparently, you guys have decided. No, they lost 95-80. They got smoked. They couldn't defend anybody. They gave up a record 9 uncontested dunks in an NCAA tournament game, and they gave up 11 threes.
They were
That's
falling
not a recipe to win.
They were falling for pump fakes at nauseum, man. It was like defensively, that team, and I know like Jordan Bohannon's been there for years, and obviously he's their point guard. You had 3 guys on the starting 5 who didn't even score a point, right?
They got 36 and 9 from Luka Garza and weren't even in the game. 0 points from C.J. Frederick, 0 points from Jordan Bohannon, 0 points from Connor McCaffrey. And at some point, Fran McCaffrey just figured, well, I got to bring the guys off the bench who can play defense because they're going to get up to about 20 uncontested dunks if I don't. And then they couldn't score enough to get back into the game. So it was a real mess and an incredibly disappointing ending to a historic year for the program, but still not being able to get over that hump of getting to a Sweet 16. They have not done so, since 1998.
So did you see that one coming with that Oregon team?
Yeah, I felt it. We talked the night before. And you were like, oh no, I think Iowa's going to win. I'm like, I don't know. There's something telling me that we know how Dana Altman teams play this time of year. And we know how Dana Altman teams play in general. They play good defense. They shoot well. They attack the basket. All the things that bother the Iowa Hawkeyes. So when the draw came out, it was like, okay, well, at least they didn't get somebody out of the Big 12. Well, it turns out they got Oregon instead. And we thought, oh, the Pac-12, that's not a good basketball conference. Well, they've shown up to play in the postseason, and Oregon's performance against Iowa was, I think, what a lot of people hoped wouldn't happen, but feared.
All right, now I got to ask you, since you brought up the Pac-12, man, you got Oregon and USC. Who you like coming out? Man, sorry.
No, no, you're good. That's a tough one because I think they're kind of polar opposites in the sense that they take advantage of each other's weakness. Where Oregon they don't have a big that can contend with Evan Mobley, but across the board they're 6'4" to 6'6" with athleticism, and they're going to eat USC's guards for lunch. In my opinion, I do too.
I like Oregon. I think
I kind of plus 2.5. I know Mobley's great, but I don't think Andy Enfield fully knows how to use him to his full ability. I know he's still developing, but I like the pace of Oregon to get by USC.
Right, and just Dana Altman. When you get into the tournament time, he's always been fantastic. That's just sort of the thought there. But they did meet during the season, and Oregon lost by 14. Granted, Oregon had to travel to USC, so we'll see what happens. They got their second game postponed, I believe. That's one of my favorite games on the board this weekend to watch. And the other one, Loyola Chicago and Oregon State. I'm excited to see
the Beeve.
Do you think Porter Moser at this point is going to find another job in this offseason, or do you think he'll stay put?
Okay, this came up yesterday. We chatted with somebody, or our friend Chris Emma of 670 The Score in Chicago. We asked him about this very thing. I think Porter Moser loves where he's at, and I don't think he's leaving. He loves being part of the Chicago sports scene without any of the pressure of being part of the Chicago sports scene.
Oh, good point.
Right.
He makes millions of dollars to live and coach in Chicago, recruit in Chicago, beat up on the Missouri Valley Conference, and then shock the world in the NCAA tournament. It's a fantastic living, and he's been other places. I believe he was at Illinois State. He went to Creighton, and he's been around as an assistant coach. And I think that he has kids who are teenagers who are growing up. They like being in Chicago, and the school that keeps coming up, Indiana, I just don't know that that's the job for him. I think that the expectations are a little bit too high, and the stability is not there. The boosters for that program are demanding they get in the way constantly, and I for now, until further notice, I think that Porter Moser may be staying in Chicago.
Man, well, I want to know, who do you like in that most unlikely 12-8 matchup with Loyola Chicago and the Beaver?
I have Loyola Chicago getting the Final Four again.
Whoa!
Wow. Was this actually on a bracket of yours?
No.
Or you're just saying at this point?
At this point.
Okay.
Do you think
they look so? Loyola Chicago has that style that seems to just wear on you, right? The game is relatively close up until the final minutes, and they seem to pull away because they play so within themselves, fundamentally sound on the defensive side of the ball. I believe, and I don't quote me on this because I'm not fully sure, but I think they're a top 5 team nationally in defensive efficiency.
Yeah, they're never out of position defensively. Offensively, they move the ball with such simplicity and ease and efficiency, and they have a center who is basically their point center, their point 5, who distributes the ball. They have a lot of guys who they run a lot of action where that includes back cuts. They can also shoot mid-range. Somebody described it the other day. The way that they play is how every coach draws it up.
Right.
How every coach wishes that their team played on both ends of the court. Loyola Chicago does. And Oregon State, their big, Silva, I think is going to have all kinds of issues with Krutwig. If you're not used to Cameron Krutwig, he's going to burn you. Ask Kofi Coburn about that.
That one, Alex, that killed me when I saw Kofi Coburn get taken behind the woodshed by Cameron Krutwig. Like the athleticism difference, the height difference, the size difference. You think Kofi Coburn wins that all day. Krutwig just showed that he is a man amongst boys out there, and he plays within himself. And that's, I think, the entire sort of thing with Loyola Chicago. Now, I'm going to ask you something about a winner. Gonzaga or the Field?
Right now, I like Gonzaga. With all the upsets that went on around them, and with as bad as the Big Ten performed, and the only team remaining is Michigan. Now, if Michigan had Isaiah Livers, maybe this is more of a discussion. I think that Baylor is the only team that can. I'm not going to say the only team that can beat them, but the only team that I'm confident, if they played 10 times, would beat them 2 or 3. So anything can happen in a one-game situation, but with most of the Big Ten out and a lot of high seeds remaining, Alabama possibly if they could outscore, but it's hard to outscore Gonzaga. I just think they're the most well-rounded team in the country, and I thought you put it well, Gabe, when I thought Oklahoma played a pretty darn good basketball game against Gonzaga, only to lose by 16.
Lon Kruger, man, he worked his butt off to try to get that team to compete. And it's just like Austin Reeves had a heck of a game, and Gonzaga just wears on you something terrible. They're so good offensively. They don't play a deep lineup. They don't have a bunch of people coming off the bench, but those 5 starters can fill it up at will, and they shoot the 3 ridiculously well. It's hard for me to believe. And I agree with you. I think besides Gonzaga, Baylor's the only team I can really see winning the national championship and competing with Gonzaga. But we shall see. Now,
one other one I want to know about: who do you think has got an advantage, Juwan Howard or Leonard Hamilton, the Florida State-Michigan game? Who do you think comes out on top?
Oh, that's going to be a really interesting game in the exact opposite way of the way you talk about Gonzaga. Gonzaga can fill it up. Florida State, I watched them play against Colorado. I've seen them a few times. Scotty Barnes is a really nice offensive player, really nice all-around player. He's going to be a good player in the NBA for a long time, but they play defense, and they're so big, and they're so long, Florida State. And Leonard Hamilton, you talk about a team that just wears on you. It's not pretty. They don't play – they're not going to come out there and score 85 points a night, but they're just going to make it so difficult for you to run your offense, to get into your offense, to score points. And Michigan, on the other hand, is without Isaiah Livers, without one of their best perimeter players. So I think Michigan's done a pretty darn good job to this point to get to this spot without Isaiah Livers. I didn't think they were going to get past LSU. But this is, I don't know what the over-under is in this game, but this one has like 62 to 57 written all over it.
Right. I completely agree with that. FSU, like just the length they have and how they play defense. I saw it against the first round game against North Carolina Greensboro. They didn't make a single three and won by 10.
They look like a basketball
It's
team.
bizarre. Like Leonard Hamilton, I appreciate how he coaches because it's not really super focused on the offensive end, although they do have guys year to year that can do that. But he gets length, he gets athleticism, and he teaches them how to play basketball really well.
And he also brings his NBA talent off the bench.
100%.
And the total, by the way, is 143.5. I like the under as well, Alex.
Now,
yeah, I'm with you.
NFL, we've been sort of talking. There's been a lot of things going on, I think, in the NFL, and it hasn't really involved the draft so far. Zach Wilson has his pro day today, but besides that, we have a bunch of trades. And the Niners, who say that they're going to have Jimmy G play this season as the starter, they move up to number 3. I don't know if Zach Wilson falls there. I think that's the best fit there for the 49ers. But who do you think they're actually going to take in that spot?
See, I don't know. That was confusing to me when I saw Adam Schefter's report. He said that they're moving up to number 3. They're squarely in the mix for a quarterback, but they're not going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo.
But he also reported they just like their options. They're not looking at a singular guy. They love their options there. And that was confusing to me as well.
So right now, when you look at the board, I guess the question is, I haven't had a ton of time to reflect on it and to figure out the exact team need at this point, but clearly there are multiple guys that they like. And if you're looking at Zach Wilson, the Jets don't want him, that they want to go a different direction. I'm sure they'll be happy to draft a quarterback if their top quarterback is there. But that's an interesting move because usually when you see this happen, there's one guy
right
in their mind, and I don't doubt what they're saying. I believe them. I think that there are multiple guys that they're looking at, and they just like the pick of the litter.
Me and Johnny talked about this. Like, if you don't get Zach Wilson, I think the obvious next choice for at least that offense with Kyle Shanahan and the play action and the run game is probably Trey Lance because he did a lot of that at North Dakota State. But then again, Trey Lance at 3, I don't think people are expecting that. I don't think people – right. I don't know if you had to move up all that much to get Trey Lance, but it is what it is. Now, Mel Kiper said something that I wanna pick your brain on. He said if Sam Darnold was in this draft class, he'd be the second best quarterback on the board. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think that Sam Darnold can be a successful NFL quarterback given the right situation, but I was never overly wowed by him at USC, and I haven't been overly wowed by him yet in the NFL. So I get what he's saying, the unproven nature of what he of his career so far. He still has a lot of upside, and yes, he's been in New York, where it's almost impossible to succeed in on that franchise or in that franchise. But like, come on, why What do people have against Justin Fields, and what do people have against Zach Wilson?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't get it.
People are like sort of Johnny. You can probably talk to this because all three of us talking right now love Zach Wilson.
Love him.
Like borderline first prospect for me. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is that guy because he's 6'6" and he's ridiculous. He's got athleticism. He can throw the ball a country mile.
And he looks like he belongs
I understand
in Florida.
that. But, like, I think people are starting to hate on Zach Wilson because other people seem to like him. People are listing him as that number one prospect off the board, and people don't seem to like that. I don't know why, but it's like a reverse psychology thing going on with people not liking Zach Wilson being put in that conversation.
Yeah, that's maybe I shouldn't judge things based on social media reaction, but that is mostly our job. So it's
right.
That's the reaction that I've seen from a lot of people on social media. That people were very excited about Zach Wilson, then they weren't so excited. Then maybe after the pro day today.
By the way, did you see that throw?
The throw that went viral.
Whew.
That's so
now
nasty.
they're going to be excited again. Disregard everything he did during the season. All the film, disregard that. It's that throw that gets people excited again.
Dude, that was nasty. That throw was nasty. I got to admit, that was nasty.
It was.
But speaking of something that's kind of, I think, interesting about this, the fact that the Dolphins moved down obviously means that they're excited about Tua, and yes, they moved back up to number 6. Do you think that they go out there and try to get him, one of his former teammates in Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith?
Maybe. What about Kyle Pitts at that spot?
Yeah, Gabe talked about Kyle Pitts too. I'm just kind of was wondering.
Either one. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Can't
really.
go wrong. You're in a spot where I think you're happy with your defense. You're drafting high, but you're not worried. You're not having to fill a major hole on your team. So why not start building? Why not draft a luxury? Put a piece around your quarterback that you're wondering whether or not he's your franchise quarterback. We'll find out. Load that offense up. Give him another top tier target, and see how he does. They are going to go with him. All that chatter about Deshaun Watson seems to have subsided, and Tua's the guy. So let's once and for all find out how good he is, and give him a target like either Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or Kyle Pitts.
Jamar Chase.
Or Jamar Chase. I don't know
or
if you
Jamar
can
Chase.
really go wrong with any of those guys. But, like, what the Dolphins have done, their GM and Brian Flores, they've put together so much draft capital. This year, you have 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and a third round. Next year, you have your 1 first round, a second round, and 2 third rounds. And then 2023, 2 first rounds again. So, like, what they're doing in building that roster and that team is I have to give their front office and Brian Flores a whole bunch of credit. Now,
one other thing about that, though, I'll keep thinking about this. I think they have to go wide receiver Chase Smith. I mean, I think Mike Gesicki's turning into a pretty decent pro.
Right, but
this is true.
I mean, do you believe in like Preston Williams or?
I'm
Devontae
curious. What do you
Parker?
guys think of? What do you guys think of Kyle Pitts as far as what he will be in the NFL? He's
I mean,
not
I
a
think
blocking
he's gonna
guy.
I hate to say it.
He's a
because
pure
from
pass
Florida.
catcher.
He reminds me of Aaron Hernandez, just a dude that could, he didn't block. You didn't see Aaron Hernandez down on the end of the line blocking a bunch of people. He was running routes, catching the damn ball. Darren Waller out in Oakland. Didn't he get moved, or is he still in Oakland?
He's still there.
Oh, it just nobody cares because he's in Oakland. But no, I think this is interesting, and I like the fact that they're doing this, and it could be interesting because the Miami Dolphins be the only team that with what the Patriots are doing, the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. I love what Brian Daboll is. I mean, Mitch Trubisky backing him up. Josh Allen's on the ascending. Is the NFC East, which was always the Patriots, could this be one of the more tough divisions in the NFL?
Well, right now it feels like the Bills division.
It does, but the Dolphins and Patriots are trying to make moves. It feels like.
And the Patriots are trying to catch up. They're playing catch up. That's the craziest part of this, where you see Tom Brady leave. He goes to another place. He wins the Super Bowl. Now the eyes completely turned back to Bill Belichick after a 7-9 year. Like, hey, Bill, are you guys going to be good anytime soon? And so he goes out in free agency and shows, because the big question was they'd been able to go out and get free agents in the past. So when Tom Brady leaves, wins the Super Bowl, they go 7-9. The question is, well, do people want to go there anymore? We saw Matt Stafford say he didn't want to go there, although Matt Patricia's on the staff, so I understand that. But you wondered whether the draw of going to New England was around Tom Brady. Now, this offseason, they've debunked that, but the question is it enough to get them back into the division? But as you said, Johnny, 3 teams vying for the top spot. There's a clear favorite, and then there seems to be 2 that are kind of nipping at the Buffalo Bills' heels.
No, like the Patriots, I appreciate that they went out and spent all that money. Second most money they spent. They were aggressive in free agency.
But
did you? And I'll ask both of you. Did you guys like what they did? Did they pay? I thought for the most part they overpaid for a lot of guys, where they haven't had to do that in the past.
I was going to say that maybe there was a little bit of desperation in some of the moves, but they had to do something. And that's a terrible position to be in if you're a professional sports franchise. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and when they fell behind the Chicago Cubs, and their roster was clearly just worse. That's the problem. The Bills, right now, they have their franchise quarterback. They have their top receiver. They have a solid defense that they've invested a lot of money in. And you know that they're going to be good. So, and then you see the Dolphins, who are kind of trending in that exact same direction. They're just a few pieces away from being in that same ballpark. If you're the Patriots, you're like, well, how do we get out of 7-9? Let's try to make a bunch of moves, and that's kind of what it felt like. We got to do something. So they figured that trying to overpay for players instead of not doing anything at all and remaining at 500 in the middle of the draft without a high pick and all of that was just not worth it.
In the last question I'm going to bother you with, and by the way, everybody, follow Alex at Alex Kuhn 523. That's at Alex Kuhn 523. Check out the podcast and let's do it. KGYM Radio. But the most important thing I got to ask is this football team, are they actually trying to win and get Ryan Fitzpatrick his first playoff win? Because they got a hella defense, great defense. They went over there and get Curtis Samuels. They now signed Stan Humphries. You got Terry McLaurin. You got Steven Sims. Is this going to be actually, and plus don't forget about our man Antonio Gibson in the backfield. Is the Washington football team by far the best team in the NFC East?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? The Eagles stink.
I love and here's the thing, Alex. I want to say this before you give your answer. I love Cowboys fans' confidence in what has been done in bringing Dak. Like, they should be happy that they have Dak Prescott. But that being said, they're going to have no cap space to sign anybody on defense for the next 3-4 years. So you sort of wonder who's going to win that division. And the Giants even went out and tried to make some moves to get Kenny Golladay for Daniel Jones and Adoree Jackson. They tried to make some moves to improve them. So it's
Lillard.
like, is it a foregone conclusion that the Cowboys will win that division? I don't think so.
Oh, no, not even close. It's never a foregone conclusion that the Cowboys will win the division. No matter how much hype they have around their team going into the season, they always find a way to either make it close or to, last few years, lose the division to somebody that they shouldn't. Last year, it was to the Washington football team, who was starting a quarterback who I never thought I'd see play in another football game. And I was actually scared to watch Alex Smith play last year, coming off of 17 surgeries on his leg, and they won the division. They went out and won the division. The year before, it was the Eagles in the last game of the year at 8-8 or at 7-8, beating the Cowboys with all of their receivers out and all their running backs out. So the Cowboys always find a way. And for Washington, I really like the addition of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's the perfect quarterback for that situation. They're not going to contend for a Super Bowl. They want to win the division, and they want him to be the stopgap until they can find a permanent solution at quarterback. He's used to being in that role. He seems to be really good working with young quarterbacks, and it's a no-lose situation. I think he can win them that division.
It's kind of crazy to think about that. Carol Baskins is more famous than Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, my
I mean, how crazy is that? They can't find a quarterback in Washington to save their life. But Fitzpatrick, he's old. He'll do a good job, and I think that they're definitely going to win this division, and I agree with everything that you just said. Follow Alex at Alex523 on Twitter. Listen to him every single Friday right here at 2 o'clock on Sports 56. Alex, have a blessed day. Enjoy the tournament, my friend.
Have a good weekend, guys.
That's my buddy Alex. Don't forget, speaking of the tournament, you can catch all the action right here Saturday and Sunday starting at 1 o'clock. We got the NCAA tournament wall-to-wall all day long, all day strong on Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, Jeff Allen, you got some deals over there that'll blow me away at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
You better believe it, Randy. I've got a 2021 Kia Forte $135 a month lease.
That's less than $5 a day for a new car at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Plus a 2021 Kia Soul redesigned inside and out $149 per month lease. And a 2021 Kia K5 $179 per month lease. 36 months, $3149 due at signing.
Plus, they all come with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte NE 319,491, MSRP 20,625, sold M775597, MSRP 20,660, K5 MG00 5560, MSRP 25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 3/31/21, dealer stock only.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana, La Guadalupana, Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sausage, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado. Add a nice cold beer to your super nachos. Top with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos. Great prices, generous portions, great service at 3 locations, Summer Avenue, Cordova Road in Winchester, La Guadalupana.
This is a job alert. If you're looking for work, this will interest you. Whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or even something temporary if you've been recently furloughed, text 107-JOB to 49330. That's 107-JOB to 49330. Office work available now in a clean office environment with all COVID precautions taken. Text 107-JOB to 49330 and someone will be in touch about these job opportunities available now. Text 107-JOB to 49330.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone.
Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good buddy, Johnny Radio. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. We got to talk about Dana White. He gets away with anything he wants almost. I don't think very many men could go on TV and say, man, I can't believe she got a nose job. She's just going to get it messed up in the ring. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk some sad news about Oscar Freyer. It's just very, very, very sad. Grand Canyon University hoops star. Got some really sad news there. Got some interesting news. And some, of course, UFO news. You know how it is. It's hardwood, baby. We like to have some fun. But I got to remind you something that's very important. Have you thought about your roof in a long time? Have you thought to yourself, maybe we need to make sure we have the shingles checked or the roof replaced? If you haven't thought about it in a while, you probably need to call my buddy Brian Elder at 901-867-0303. He can give you a quote right there over the phone. He can measure your roof from outer space. And also, if he tells you that there's a claim, because we've had snow, we've had tons of, there was almost like a tornado the other day. The wind was blowing so deadgum hard. If there's issues with your roof and there's a claim and he says it's a claim, it will be a claim. Go to BrianElderRoofing.com or again, call him at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. Gabe Kuhn, let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Oh, yes, it is Access Hardwood, and I like to talk about fun stuff. And I've already mentioned Mr. Marshawn Lattimore. Holy cow. Did you know Marshawn Lattimore has been one of the best deadgum DBs in football since he came out of Ohio State?
Ohio State's got some DBs, man, don't they?
You ain't lying, dude. They got some dudes that can flat out
They're trying to take over as DBU.
DBU.
LSU, I still think has
I still think, LSU's the ballers. But let's just be real. Lattimore, he is no joke when it comes to anything. He was a all Big Ten player. He's been tearing it up in the National Football League. But the key is he was getting ready. I mean, he made the Pro Bowl in 17, 19, and 2020. And guess what he was about to enter? The final year of his rookie contract, meaning what? He's about to get paid. Well, I don't know if he's going to get paid as much money. He'll probably get a ton of money. Let's be real. He's a good player. But he is in a lot of trouble. So the three-time Pro Bowl cornerback was arrested in Cleveland at 10:30 last night on suspicion of receiving stolen property. The stolen property was a gun that was found to be entered as stolen out of the city of Ohio. He also had 3 other people in the vehicle. They were also all arrested. And by the way, having just improper handling of a firearm in a motor vehicle is one of his charges. Having stolen property is another charge. I'm curious, Mr. Gabe Kuhn, how big of a deal is this for a guy in the entering the final year of his rookie deal?
As with all things, with people with money, he will hire a lawyer. He'll fight it, and he'll do what he can. He might have to do some probation or what have you.
Having a stolen gun's kind of hard.
It's
tough,
Leslie
Ballin, Rusty Harden, all these great
I'm
lawyers
curious,
out there,
man.
damn.
Do you think this is going to hamper him this season? I still think he'll be on the field. I hate to be that way.
You know what? You're probably dead gum right.
He might get a small suspension from the NFL.
You're probably, sadly.
What is his first strike? I haven't heard of him getting in trouble before this.
No, he hasn't. He really hasn't. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's a bad look right there when you're about to get paid.
He may not be all that much in trouble, but I think he'll have to he's going to have to deal with the law. And I wondered what the Saints will probably just leave it at that. Say handle it yourself. The NFL may pass down a suspension. They may not. We'll see. Now, a person that may not ever play again in his league, did you see what Myers Leonard dealt with yesterday?
No, I missed this.
He was released by the Thunder.
What?
He's no longer employed by the NBA or an NBA franchise. Myers Leonard, obviously the one who yelled a anti-Semitic slur on his
video game
stream. I still don't understand why
these people do this.
Yeah, why do you get angry and go racial slur? Just say the F word or something. You're good.
By the way, how crazy is that the F word doesn't get said as much as it used to?
It's bizarre. I don't really get it.
And like that's the one word that
And,
actually
like, people-
nowadays not as
they're
bad
not
as
gonna
it
be
used
mad
to.
at you. They may give you a little slap on the wrist, say, "Hey,
come on, there's children."
Control yourself.
Something like that. But you
what
ain't-
about
you
the
ain't losing
children?
Your job.
But either way, he was traded from the Heat to the Thunder. Now the Thunder, after the trade deadline, have released him. Does he ever get an NBA job ever again?
Well, I actually, you know what, dude? The Thunder stink so bad, and the fact that they cut him, that messes my head up. Like that really does. Like who's
And
gonna
like
pick
for
him
him
up?
though, for him, he's never been any more than like a reserve big.
Dude, he's going to China, man.
I think it might be done for him in the NBA.
Yeah, NBA. That's why I said you better head up and go Starberry over in China.
What a mistake! What a
What an
mistake he
idiot.
made. Well, seriously, it's moronic.
Moronic. Idiot. Man, I did not even hear that. That one kind of threw me off the base. But I will tell you something. Can Dana White, like, if you go out there, like, Dana White was, at first, he's like, man, I'm so happy that Misha Tate's coming back. I'm stoked for her comeback. But then he flat out went there and said, I did tell her, though, not to go and have her nose surgically repaired. She did have it repaired after a 2016 fight with Amanda Nunes. And he basically said, because you're probably going to get it broken a few more times when you get back in the ring. I mean, that is kind of true.
I'm not trying to like make fun, but you clearly don't watch Dana White's interviews or his press conferences with the UFC, do you?
No, I don't.
He cusses like a longshoreman.
I know.
He says everything on his mind, and he feels like he's untouchable because he's a commissioner and he oversees the entire UFC. So he doesn't.
He talks smack.
He doesn't care. Clearly,
dude. He dropped some F-bombs. He told her that don't fix your crooked, blimping nose because it's gonna get crooked again when you get back in the octagon. I mean, like these are things you just don't usually say. But you know what? He did finish it with saying,
imagine other commissioners being like him. Like if Roger Goodell spoke like him. Oh my gosh.
No.
Dana White, literally, I agree with you. He gets away with anything.
He does. He can literally say anything except for there are certain things even Israel Adesanya of the UFC cannot say. What a segue. Did you hear what he said?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
It was very gross. It was very bad. In fact, he even admitted
Can you say it on the air? You might need to say away with
It's not an
away
F
from
word.
It. Okay.
He said that he crossed the line is what I would say. He told Kevin Holland that if he fought him, this was they were on a social media session talking trash back and forth to each other, okay? Adesanya said, bro, I will bleeping sexually assault you, but in a much worse way.
This word that starts with an R.
Yes.
Yeah. That's one of those words you stay away from.
Dude.
Just stay away from that.
And listen, again, 2020, this is the 21st century, yo.
I don't even, that's always been a very tough word to just throw
you
around
just
loosely.
don't throw that around. And by the way, like, I don't know, man. I've never had anybody just be like right there on TV having a social media conversation back and forth, and then you telling a dude to shut up because you're gonna do that to him. And that's, I don't know, that's just on so many levels so wrong. Like if I was that dude, I wouldn't even want to fight Adesanya anymore. I'd be like, bro, you're a little messed up in the head. Did you just say you're gonna what me? No, sir. Now, please tell me you. This is. Did you see the pro skier? By the way, this is so not funny, but it is funny. Have you seen the dude who was trying out for the Olympics? And he's 27-year-old. He won the gold medal in 2018. He's a really good skier. But have you ever seen the dudes that do the jump? You know what I'm talking about? And they stick their skis forward and they just fly through the air.
What is that called?
And they land. The ski jump, I guess, right?
But it's, I know what you're talking about.
It's the giant slalom is what it's called.
No, it's not slalom. That ain't slalom.
Yeah, it is. Check it out. Or no, it's not.
It's not slalom.
It's giant jumping.
But anyway, continue.
What is it called? Now you messed my head up. Dude, why did you just mess me up like that? But anyway, okay, so if you want to go, you can check out my Twitter. I'll tweet it out because the video's, should I say horrifying? Or is it just absolutely, like, I'm glad it's not me. Let's put it that way. The guy's alive. I just want everybody to know he's alive. So he's not, nothing happened. He didn't pass. But dude jumps this jump. And you know how big these jumps are? You know how high in the air
it's
you
literally
go?
just called ski jumping.
That's what I said at first.
Okay. You were right.
See, I was right. Then you tried to make me think, and I
You said slalom. You said slalom.
702. Check, dude. Play it back. You don't have to do it now, but I said ski jumping, and then you looked at me crazy, and I went giant slalom. I don't know. Anyway, point is, homie does the ski jump, and you know how high you go. Somehow his legs. I've never seen this because you keep your legs straight. His legs went like splits. Then he loses his ski, and then he's just tumbling down the daggum hill. He hits the ground, and dude goes like another 700 feet.
Is he injured?
Yeah, he's injured.
How bad?
No, he's okay. I mean, he's not like. I mean,
they're high in the air, man. You're acting like this is okay. No, this is not a funny thing.
No, it's not funny.
Did he break a leg? He had to break a leg.
He probably
that is a.
Okay, here's what they said. Daniel's injuries are not life-threatening. He's been diagnosed as it looked dramatic. The fall looked so dramatic. Everybody was scared. They used all the precautions. They gave him first aid, but they did update us and said Daniel's injuries are not life-threatening. The doctors did add that they will continue to monitor him, make sure that his vital signs are pretty good. But, I mean, he was unconscious for a minute. That was probably the worst thing. I mean, if you fight Mike Tyson, you're going to get unconscious. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it looked a lot worse than it was. But, dude, have you ever seen a dude's legs just go completely apart like that? Like, what happened? Did a wind gust come? Whew. And by the way,
I got to imagine there's a small... You can't make too many errors when you're up in
my
the
question, though,
air
my
like
last
that.
question is after you wreck, do you ever do it again? Like, he won the gold medal in 2018. Could you ever get back up there and go again after you just did a wreck like that? I don't think I could. Now, this is something you'll never get back, and this is very, very sad. And this is true. And it's heartbreaking. Oscar Freyer, the Grand Canyon University hoop star, he scored 8 points in the NCAA tournament Saturday, and now he passed away in a car crash. It's just terrible. It's sad. He was just 23 years old. All three passengers in the SUV, including his older sister, tragically died. And again, just a reminder, you're here today, gone tomorrow, so make sure you make the best of every single day. Now, speaking of making the best of every single day, Dwight Howard made the best of his day. Did you see him get his championship ring? Did you see him also then get ejected?
Yeah, I did.
Him
and Montrezl Harrell were not very happy with each other.
No, they were not. Do you think he just wanted to go celebrate and check out his new ring and drink some champagne and party, or was he really just ticked off?
I don't know. It's not the first time either of those guys have gotten into on-court spats, though.
True that.
Trez usually angers a few people.
Now, I got one other thing. We got to talk about 49ers defensive lineman Kevin Gibbons on the other side. He's been hit with some assault charges. We'll talk about that and more, but I have to remind you of something. When life hands you lemons, what are you going to do? You're going to make a lemon drop with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Why? It's simply the best vodka on planet Earth. It's distilled right here in the United States. And I said distilled because they use the classic still method, which is a rare thing on the vodka scene. It's naturally gluten-free because it's a corn-based vodka. And it's price points are perfect. But the one thing is the way they still it and the way they make it and why it's a top 10 vodka in the world, because it's slightly sweet with a black pepper note balancing out everything. Whether you're crafting a cocktail, you're drinking it neat, you're making your martinis, whatever you're doing, make you a screwdriver, a Harvey Wambanger by adding a little Frangelica, a little Tito's, a little OJ. You'll love it. Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's simply the best. We'll be right back to close things out on Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays.
Lunchy munchy.
Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
The Jeep Celebration in Ram Truck Month is on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, and it's time to get your adventure on. 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo ready to ride, $27,990 or $369 a month. Power up in 2021 Dodge Charger XST, $26,990 or $356 a month. And get serious performance with 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab 4x2 Tradesman, over $8,500 off MSRP or $355 a month. And leave boring behind in your 2021 Fiat 500 X-Pop, $20,990 or $264 a month. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat, 1901 Covington Pike, or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost financed through Chrysler, all 3,500 cash down, 75 months at 4.11 APR. Cherokee MC 546,501, MSRP 36,110. Charger MH 515,408, MSRP 32,860, 1,500, MS 500,496, MSRP 35,545. Pop MP 88,7786, MSRP 26,830. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/31/21. Dealer stock only.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You hear the phrase all day, every day. In these uncertain times, this. In these uncertain times, that. Well, in these uncertain times, one thing I know for certain, you want you some Central Barbecue. Central Barbecue is open for you to dine in or carry out, online orders and curbside pickup. And another thing you could be certain about is this. We are doing everything in our power to keep you and our staff safe. You can be sure that everyone working at any Central Barbecue is following every safety protocol there is, and they'll encourage you to do the same. Come on in and get some Central Barbecue. And yes, your face covering is probably going to end up with some sauce on it. A small price to pay for safety.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. Guess what it is, yo? It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. And you know what? It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Maybe not for the Grizzlies. Holy cow, they got the Jazz tonight. That's a bad matchup. They're like a 9.5-point dog right now. But the Grizzlies did get some good news.
They sure did.
Jaren Jackson Jr., by the way, this is a long time to heal from a meniscus tear, in my opinion. We'll be back by the end of April, they say. 9 months after his little meniscus tear. Don't you feel like that's a long time for meniscus?
Yeah, Zach Kleiman announced it this morning. Yes, it's a long time, but I also think the Grizzlies, given how young he is still,
want to make sure he's healed.
They
okay.
want to make dang well sure that he will not re-injure that thing and it won't be an issue.
That's a good point. But, yeah, Ja and the boys and JV are going to have their hands full with Gobert and Mike because they are playing the Jazz at 8 o'clock tonight. Don't forget, though, not only are the Grizzlies playing, but we have the Tigers playing in a little NIT action this weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun. Gabe Kuhn, are you fired up against for that Colorado State hoops game?
I think it's the best team they've played in the NIT so far.
Well, if they
should be a fun one, 2-1 seeds.
If they don't look any better than they did against Boise State, they ain't gonna get past Colorado State. You also have Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech playing. Also, this is going to be on the 27th on Saturday. Memphis plays at 11 a.m. against Colorado State. Right now, they're 3.5-point favorites, and the total is 138.5. Tigers have been going under. Now, I mentioned this right before the break. Did you hear about Kevin Givens, the 49ers defensive lineman? He's been hit with assault charges after he beat the blank out of a man at a Maryland hotel. Have you heard this whole story?
I have not.
So the dude is like, okay, if you read the court documents, it basically says there's a guy named Bosley, and he says, they're getting an Uber or Lyft. They ask Givens if he wants to jump in the Uber or Lyft. They're going back to the same hotel or whatever. He kind of brushes them off, and then it says they go back to the hotel, which is the Sheraton in the area. Givens then sees the dude and then just starts beating the tar out of him in the middle of the hotel. How much money is this going to cost him? You know you just can't go crazy and start beating people. Like, did you see, man, have you seen some of these, lawsuits lately? Just ask Deshaun Watson, man. There's a lot of things you can't do. Trust me. Stay away from, don't call masseuses to your house and quit beating people up. What's going on in the NFL right now? People just done lost their mind. And do me a favor, Marshawn Lattimore, don't be driving around with a stolen gun. And especially don't be speeding with a stolen gun and a bunch of dudes who have other, stolen property on them. Not very smart in the end of your life. End of your life. The end of your rookie deal when you're about to get paid. Now, I hope everybody enjoys the fact that life is good, and I will tell you this, the NFL has made the most news, even though we have the NCAA tournament. We have a bunch of great seeds and a bunch of wild picks, and I'm going to tell you one more time some of those games that we really, really like. But first, I got to remind you, San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, they have moved up. They got the number 3 pick from Miami. Miami moves down to 12. Then Miami moves back up to number 6 by trading with the Eagles. A lot of movement, but I will tell you right now, Kyle Shanahan, he better get his guy Zach Wilson. But it just makes me wonder, what are the Jets going to do at number 2? Are they going to keep Sam Darnold? Are they going to go with somebody else? Are they going to maybe move down with that pick? Or are they going to maybe try to get a second-round pick for Sam Darnold on draft day? I'm just so interested in the fact that you have Robert Saleh, who used to be the defensive coordinator out in San Francisco, and they have the number 2 pick, and Kyle Shanahan, who he wants Zach Wilson. Don't you believe that?
I believe he does, but I'm not sure he'll get him.
I'm not either, but he moves in right behind Robert Saleh, and Trevor Lawrence is going number 1. What the bleep are the Jets going to do? I don't know, but it's just got me absolutely wild. But I will tell you something I do know. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the man, at least for a couple more years, because the Dolphins are going all in. I think they're going to get him some help because they moved up to 6. I say Jamar Chase, maybe 4 more Alabama teammates, and Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. Who knows? Or maybe Florida man, Mr. Kyle Pitts. Now, me and Gabe talked about some of our favorite bets over the weekend. We love Baylor minus the 7 against the Nova. I think Jay Wright's boys go down. Baylor's defense is flat out nasty. I'm not for Oral Roberts. Never mind. I'll just not touch that with a 10-foot pole. But I will tell you, I am for Arkansas. And the thing that scares me is when everybody's all on Syracuse and talking about Buddy Boeheim, you better look at Houston and swing the other way. Don't forget, all your NCAA tournament action is right here on Sports 56 at 1 o'clock tomorrow and on Sunday. Everybody, do me a favor. Get out there. Enjoy your weekend. Fantasy baseball, I'm going to dominate. Y'all do me a favor. Get out there. Make the world a better place. See you on the flip side. Peace.